news from Uttar Pradesh, where after Kanpur and Saharanpur, now bulldozer action in Prayagraj today. Demolitions are taking place at the home of the main accused, according to the police, in the Prayagraj violence. Javed Mohammed, a leader of the Welfare Party of India and a prominent face in the anti-CA protest, was named as a key conspirator by the UP police. And there you can see the bulldozers and the JCB machines at his home. In fact, a portion of the front of the house has been brought down. Let's go across to Alok Pandey for more. And Alok, despite criticism and people questioning this bulldozer action, the police in UP continuing with that action, and today who they're calling the main conspirator in the Prayagraj violence case, his house is being demolished.
Well, yes, you are right. I want to start first by giving a bit of a background about what is happening and why it is happening. As we look at the shots, I've sent some more shots of the actual demolition, so we can also play that out when it is possible. So basically, Mohammed Javed, as you pointed out, is a politician with the Welfare Party. Now, the police are calling him the mastermind, quote-unquote, of this protest that took place on Friday after prayers in Prayagraj that went on for 4-5 hours, and we saw how there was stone pelting, tear gas, etc., etc. So we did see all of that, if you remember. Now, in the FIR that the police has filed, in one of the FIRs that is filed, Mohammed Javed is actually, his name is at 37th as the accused, and yet the police are saying that he is the quote-unquote mastermind, and there could be more masterminds. That's number one. Now, also important for us to see how and why this demolition is taking place in Prayagraj specifically. Now, many would wonder how something like this can happen and how the government will justify something like this. Of course, we all know that the directions are coming from the very top, because Yogi Adityanath himself is saying that bulldozer action has to continue, and that's why you're seeing what you're seeing on your screens right now. Now, in this case, in the case of Mr. Mohammed Javed, what happened was that yesterday late night, a notice was pasted outside his house, Gargi, by the Allahabad Development Authority. Now, very interesting to see what this notice is saying. It says that the ground and first floors of this house that you see on your screens right now were constructed without permission. And this notice claims that an earlier notice was served to Javed on the 10th of May, asking him to appear for a hearing in 2 weeks. This notice further says that no one turned up in this 2-week time, and so a demolition order was passed on the 25th of May. And now it says, the notice further says that we asked you to voluntarily demolish the house by the 9th of June. And because this is not done, you have to vacate the house by today, which is Sunday, 11 a.m., or we will demolish the house. So this is the background, but you can see it's very convenient, isn't it, Gargi? That all of this notice pasted, and essentially you have no way to immediately disprove it, right? Because you have to get those records, access, somebody in the family has to dispute it, but at the moment, given what is happening, it's very difficult to dispute it, and the action is going ahead.
And even the fact that Javed Mohammed is being considered the main conspirator, this is something, again, the UP police is claiming, the Prayagraj police is claiming there right now. So, and just for our viewers, when there is such an allegation, it has to go through the normal course of the law. They have to get all their evidence presented in court. A charge sheet needs to be filed, and then one can imagine someone is a main accused in any violence that breaks out, isn't it, Alok?
Well, you're absolutely right. I think the only thing one can say is that perhaps in UP we are long past those procedures. Even if you remember during the CAA violence, the protest against the anti-citizenship law, if you remember that point of time, a lot of properties were confiscated. And then later the Supreme Court, on a technicality, but it said that, look, what you're doing is not right, so you have to, basically rework your style of working. But in this case, these bulldozers, you see what is happening here is that what the government is doing and what the police and the municipal authorities are doing is that they appear to be taking these swift actions based on directions. I don't want to call it whims and fancies, based on the directions from the very top, which is the Chief Minister, Mr. Yogi Adityanath. Now, because he says bulldozer chal raha hai, so isliye bulldozer chal raha hai. Now they are finding ways to work around the legalities and the formalities. For instance, why I spoke at length about this notice is because you look at the dates in that notice and you wonder how this happened so conveniently, and the violence has broken out and now the home has been demolished. That's number one. That said, I think it is also important for us to remember that the administration on Friday had a very tough time in actually controlling what happened. And we did see those visuals that we saw on that day. And there was stone pelting and, it went on for 4 or 5 hours. So it is very important to also investigate who was behind this, because it really could not have been spontaneous. And the police are saying that they are investigating and that they will bring everyone to book, and they have arrested a host of people. Now, they say that this man, Mohammed Javed, is the mastermind, and they say that he's the one who actually, circulated WhatsApp messages asking for a protest and a congregation after 5 years, which was not allowed. And that is why these people all of those people congregated, and then the violence happened. The police has even gone ahead to say that this man's daughter, who is a student of the Jawaharlal Nehru University, according to the police, is also involved, and they may also question her or even arrest her. That's number 2. But what is happening on your screens right now is what you see. Yesterday in Saharanpur, you saw the homes of 2 of the accused there, because there was unrest in Saharanpur too after the Friday prayers, and you saw that their homes were also razed. And today you have the same action in Prayagraj, and I suspect that this is going to continue. This may not be the only home that is taken down. I don't know if the whole home will be taken down, Gargi, but whatever demolition is happening, this will not be the end of it.
All right, Alok, thanks so much for joining us. With that, we're now also joined by BJP leader Alok Vats and Kapil Madan, advocate Supreme Court. Thank you so much for joining us. Alok Vats, how do you justify this sort of action that we're seeing in Uttar Pradesh? Violence just took place on Friday, and within 2 days already the police is there targeting people who are involved in the violence, bringing down their homes. This is not following, the law.
How do you say that we are not following the law?
Because already notices are pasted, people aren't given time to, any recourse, anything. I understand that the government wants to show that they will not tolerate any law and order issue, and there are ways of doing that. But this is a real, is being considered, it's talked about as like bullying, and we've seen in the past it's always been Muslims who are accused, and they're the ones who are facing this bulldozer action mostly.
No, don't segregate between Muslim and Hindu. Those who are involved in this activity, this nefarious activity, this anti-national activity, they are taken to task and booked under the law. Alok Pandey, your reporter, has already elaborated very nicely the whole link before the
but he also pointed out, sir, that there's no way of questioning this, that there was some notice given and it was somebody was meant to appear in court, and and again we're seeing this kind of action taking place. Kapil Madan, what would you say about this kind of action that we're seeing in Uttar Pradesh, and from a government whose chief minister came on this, had a symbol of bulldozers during his election rallies as well?
So Gargi ji, I would say with utmost clear words that to me this action looks like mela fide, motivated, and let me explain why I say this. Now, in this is the country ruled by and governed by the Constitution. You can't pronounce someone guilty first and do the trial thereafter. I mean, it is not even pronouncing someone guilty. You are handing over punishment to him without there being any trial. And let me quote one example. We all saw when Aryan Khan's case happened. The agencies, the Narcotics Bureau, they were after him. They fought that bail tooth and nail. The person had to remain in custody for few weeks. Now, what happened thereafter? When the charge sheet was filed, they themselves said that there is no case against him. And in fact, they took action against them.
All right, but Kapil Madan, what would you say to what Alok was saying and what Mr. Vats is also saying, that there's a notice that was pasted. The notice claims that there were earlier notices and that this a certain portion of the house was found to be illegal, etc., etc. And now because nobody responded, that's why they're taking this action.
Well, let me give a clear perspective of how this functions. Now, there are two sets of action. One is under the municipal law. If it is happening under the municipal law, you have to follow the process of natural justice. You should give adequate notice. Now, notice cannot be that you give me a notice, hand over me a notice, and you say that we are going to demolish this tomorrow. You need to give me or the person against whom you want to take action a reasonable time so that he may avail all his remedies as available to him as per law. Now, you are not doing this in isolation. The government itself, if they want to do it more for an optical reasons, where this individual is involved in another matter where he is mentioned as accused number 37. So, I mean, to me, it looks very, very plain and clear that this action is basically motivated, and the fact that they want to do this demolition in a very, very quick manner is only because of the fact that he's been allegedly named in the FIR. It is not merely a municipal issue.
Alok, what's your response to that and the kind of dangerous precedents this is setting? You know, because the government wants, the government can do this. They can raise your homes, they can find some reasons and, you know, bring out these notices. So it all looks above board, but clearly it's not. It's happening so quickly. And as I said, a dangerous precedent, because today the BJP is in power, tomorrow another party, maybe Samajwadi Party would be in power. And then also if they do something like this, we will speak up and say it's wrong.
See, Gargi, what is the court and law for? If we are doing something out of the way illegally, why doesn't he move to the court? Why doesn't he get a stay order?
Well, you've clearly given no time to get a stay order.
Let me tell you, and also Mr. Kapil Madan, stay order is granted within 6 hours. If you have something wrong done by somebody, immediately a stay order is given.
Well, sir, he is the main accused, and the wife and daughter were also taken into custody. So who is going to, you know, run around and file this stay order?
Even his lawyer can do it. Even his friend can do it. Anybody can go and move the bail for getting a stay order. But they know that they are accused, they have done illegal things. And during the Samajwadi Party regime, there was heavy appeasement of Muslims. So they flaunted the law right, left and center. And we are only demolishing the part which is...
And sir, as you said, he's an accused right now. We don't even know what are the facts, what is the evidence, and that is why we have, you know, the courts, we have the concept of a charge sheet, you know, a collecting of evidence. It's not just that the police say this person is responsible and then you just go ahead and demolish his house.
Gargi, a man accused of shackling the national brethren fiber between Hindu and Muslims and getting all this violence done, you think he should be greeted with flowers and garlanded?
Sir, I was only pointing out that he's an accused. We don't know what evidence is there, and the police has made all these claims.
Gargiji,
let Kapil Madan come in here. Yes, go ahead.
Now, Alokji, it looks to me, you talk about only about, you know, the fact that the construction was illegal. The fact that you are basically bringing the fact that he was involved in the protest shows that this is a colorable exercise of power. You don't want to do it because of municipal violation. You don't want to do it because there was some illegal construction. You want to do it because he is allegedly involved in another case wherein he is named in the FIR, for which yet there is no investigation. At this point in time, there is no charge sheet. At this point in time, there is no conviction. Yet you want to go ahead and, you know, give them absolutely no notice to take their remedies as per law. And let me tell you, you know, I can also let Mr. Watts know here. I practice, you know, both in High Court and the Supreme Court. To get an order, to get a stay order within 6 hours, I don't think it is possible. You need to make petition. You need to go to the registry. You need to file it. You need to get it listed. Then it is, you know, heard before by the court. And also it just reminds me when there was Jangirpuri demolition. You know what happened? Despite the fact that there was stay order, the authorities here continued the demolition. And in fact, the Supreme Court also observed that they will look at this very, very seriously. So I would conclude, and I would just say that this is a colorable exercise of power. They are doing something. However, that is disguised. It is being done more for the, you know, political, you know, agenda and the political optics that the BJP thrives on.
Yes, sir. Your response to that?
In Jangirpuri case, Mr. Madan, the order of the Supreme Court, the moment it was delivered, the activities were stopped. It went on only till the time the order was not delivered. Point number one. And point number two, They were also given notices. Why didn't he move to the court after getting the notice? He got the first notice on 25th May, another notice thereafter, and third notice. Why didn't he move?
Now, sir, that issue is also being seen by the Supreme Court, and you had a situation in which you had left leader Brinda Karat actually arriving there with the physical order asking for the stay, whereas the lawyers had been informed before that. So there have been questions about that as well.
Gargi ji, let me make a legal point. Gargi ji,
sure, go ahead.
When you are before the court and your particular ministry or authority is represented by a counsel there, then it is the moment there is a stay order, your lawyer is there, then technically you have the information that it is your lawyer's responsibility to inform you in a speedy manner. You can't turn around and say that the actual party who was there at the demolition site, they didn't have the information and they didn't got the notice, so therefore they carried on with the...
All right, but coming now back to what's happening in Uttar Pradesh right now, a person's house who is, allegedly the main accused, he's been called the main conspirator in the violence. But Alok Vats, this is also, a protest, agreed that what happened in Prayagraj was violence. But in this whole process of what's in Saharanpur and in Kanpur, houses have been brought down. The Kanpur house also 3 kilometers from the spot, allegedly belonging to somebody who's related to one of the accused. So all kinds of things are being said, and this action is being taken. It's also to suppress any sort of protest. Anybody, who wants to raise their voice should be frightened in UP right now, and would not raise their voice given this kind of action that is taking place.
Let me tell you, Gargi, not a single house has been demolished without taking recourse of the law. Has any court accused us of bulldozing any place wrongly? Till date, we have not been accused by any court.
Alokji, I can send you a few orders of the Madhya Pradesh High Court. You can also get the Supreme Court order on demolition. I can send you those orders. For your kind information, I can send you those orders. I have the orders.
Okay.
I can forward it to your team. You can send it to
because
Mr.
earlier
Rohit.
as well, when the CA protests were taking place, at that time the government did try to take over properties, and the Supreme Court then disallowed that law that was passed within the state, if I'm not wrong. Yes, Kapil, your response to what Mr. Vats is saying?
No, again, I said that Mr. Vats is saying that there is no order of the court wherein the conduct of the authorities were acknowledged. I can send him the orders. I can send it to your team. You can do it. So Madhya Pradesh High Court, too, I personally know that there were stay orders by the Honorable Madhya Pradesh High Court. So
we are talking about Uttar Pradesh.
Let me come to Uttar Pradesh as well. With bulldozer. Strong-handed action that was seen against people who are accused, and I want to point out again, they're accused.
Now, let me Uttar Pradesh. Gargiji, let me respond to him. Now, I'll give him another example. Their own minister's son, Teni, he was not arrested, number one.
All right, but we don't have time to go into all that. I'm afraid I'll have to wrap it here, but thank you so much both for joining us and, giving your views there. And there on your screens, you can see the person who is allegedly the main accused in the Prayagraj violence. His house is being demolished.